All right, welcome to Hooked to Hunt. Today we are going to have an exciting day for you guys. We have the 2021 Broadhead test. So today we'll be testing out mechanicals, fixed blades, and hybrids. And we're going to have to put them through all different types of tests, try to see what Broadhead holds up the best and what kind of penetration. And
we want to see what damage they cause, man.
Yeah,
we want to see blood. We want to see blood loss. We want to see which one is going to put that animal down quickest and most effectively.
So we got different roles today. Today, my role, I will be playing Robin Hood. Next to me, my compadre, Little John.
Obviously.
And then behind the camera, we have one of our unmarried men. So we're gonna bring you guys, hopefully, an exciting Broadhead test. We're gonna have a good time with it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it.
But before we cut to that, make sure to like, share, subscribe, become part of the Hooked to Hunt tribe.
Yep, helps us out, helps YouTube out to know that you like this content. All right, let's get to the fun stuff.
Alrighty, so first up, we're gonna do the weight test. We're gonna make sure that the variances are minimal in the arrow tips, the broadheads. So, Joe, we got the 6 up first. They're a fixed broadhead. Let's see what they weigh.
Give it a second to zero out. 105.4. Little John's gonna scribe away. Number 2. 104.8. 105.6.
Rage hypodermic are next. These were donated, so we only got 2 of those.
101. Exactly. So the ones that are donated that we have 2, one of the blades is pretty much pristine and new, so it's not like we're shooting something that's already dull.
All right, next we got the Muzzy Trocar HB. It's a hybrid broadhead.
Has fixed blades and mechanical. 102.6. 102.6. 102.2, so not very far off. I'm surprised the sick were that far off.
Yeah, me too. All right, next we got the Toxics. These are from Flying Arrow Archery.
Ooh, they're sharp. I can feel it when I pick them up. 100 exactly.
They were 100 exactly?
Exactly, right on the nuts. It's like stuck to my finger, that's how. 100 exactly. Man.
I like that kind of consistency.
Like, I can feel them sticking on my thumb, like they hang up.
100.2. Wow, very consistent.
Very sharp.
Next we got the OTW broadheads. These were actually donated to us by a Facebook friend, Andrew Lincoln, who we test products for. So let's see what we got here. We got 3 of them, so.
.2, 99.8, 101.6.
Next we got the Rocky Mountain Assassin jackknives. They are a mechanical broadhead. Let's see what they weigh.
104.2. It's 104 actually. 104. 104.6.
Alrighty, so next we got G5's Montech M3. This is our 125 fixed grain broadhead.
And this is going to be a good comparison to
the OTWs.
To the OTWs over here. They're not far off in size. One's a bargain brand, the other one's high-end, expensive, one mold. So
one piece. This is 100 grain. That's 125 grain.
127 on the dot. 128.2. 128.2. One-eyed duck.
Alrighty, so next we got NAP Blood Runner.
These are a hybrid. Basically the front hits and they expand. 99.2. 100.6. 100.2. All right, up next.
We have the 100 grain bloodbath, also donated, so we only have 2 of these.
102. 102.8.
So next, we have the Magnus Stinger. These are a fixed blade broadhead. So let's go ahead and weigh these.
126.4. 125.
So far, the most accurate broadheads in the weight test are the Toxics. They were all within 0.2 grains of 100, so they were right on. So behind the Toxics were the Rage. The Rage were right there as well. Actually, the Rage were better. They were 100.1. However, they're rated at 100 grains. So the Toxics are more accurate, but the variation is the same with the Rage.
All right, so one thing that we did not talk about yet that was sitting on this table that you might have saw is Little John's pride and glory here. And I'll let him go through this. This is a slash arrow.
So now, looking at this, you see that the arrow has something in it, but you can't really see what it is. So this is actually an arrow that's got blades built into it. It's an inset arrow system. So not only does it have your fixed blade, so you have very little air on the cut-on contact, then when it gets through into the meat and potatoes, the good stuff, you got these blades that open up. These are made by Slash, a US company out of Texas. If you look, all the arrows that Joe and I are shooting today are Slash arrows. So great USA, American made company. So we like to stand behind that when we can. But these are a hidden gem. That's the ticket.
All right, so now we're gonna do the ballistics gel test. I spent the last couple days trying to do some homemade ballistics gel because I wasn't gonna pay $500 for a 50-pound block. If you look at this block right here, not huge, but this is 50 pounds, it's heavy. And if you want any more information, I'll have a video coming out here soon enough on how to make the ballistics gel. But we're gonna test it and see how this holds up. But we're gonna start slinging some arrows over here. And John's gonna take you through the spread of arrows that we're gonna fire into this block here in 1 second.
So these are our broadheads right here, starting with the 6, going all the way to the Slash. We're gonna shoot the Slash last if we have room, or we'll make room, but we're gonna show it. So first up, we got the SICK 100 grain fixed. So let's see what it does. Next we got the Rage Hypodermic 100 mechanical. Muzzy Hybrid Trocar HB. Toxic broadhead. OTW K8 broadhead. Assassin's Jackknife. Montec by G5 M3. All right, we got the NAP Blood Runner. 30-06 bloodbath on a 30-06 slash arrow. This is kind of a hybrid. Magnus Stinger buzz cut. This is a 2-blade broadhead fixed with some bleeder blades. We have an apple. He just shot an apple out of the tree, folks. And now this is a slash arrow with the inset blade. Let's go see the damage, folks. So as far as penetration goes, this bloodbath penetrated the most. I mean, without getting a tape measure, just visually looking. So I would say the bloodbath is first, and then we got the jackknife would be second. Look at the wound channel that this one created. No, come around back.
Yeah, actually, you can show all the wound channels that look pretty good.
Look at the wound channel that this The OTW K8 created. That's huge. That is massive.
So my concern with the OTW, which it could have been human error as well, you know what I mean, it peeled out the side for whatever reason.
Well, they're all angled in that way.
Yeah, so
slightly.
this one peeled out the side, but even with it peeling out the side, it did not have as much penetration as a lot of the other ones. So it didn't even have to go through as far through the block, so that'd be concerning to me. I will tell you, I'm impressed by your slash arrow. Besides the fact that your blade flipped forward. So this blade, it doesn't look like it deployed, but it did, because you can see it through the wound channel. All the way through it. That just flipped forward when it came out and stopped. But look at that wound channel from that slash arrow. And the penetration with that slash, these big blades coming out, it still is like it's still above the middle of the pack.
Oh, it's way above the middle of the pack.
With those blades.
That's top four, man.
So you have your toxic, you see these
holes. It punched an actual hole.
Yeah, so it's punching these holes and tearing it up. My question is, the toxic has the holes that it slit through here, but the meat's still hanging in there. So if the meat's still hanging in there, does it plug the holes so it doesn't bleed out as fast? So what John said earlier, what he's really impressed with, the Bloodbath had the farthest penetration, and look at the wound channel on that. That's incredible. I would have not guessed that one would have had the most penetration. Now, we'll find out how that holds up
in the bleed out test.
In the bleed out test, shooting through cardboard, because that's a whole nother...
We're gonna shoot through plywood.
Yeah.
We're gonna shoot through some plywood to make up for some shoulder blades. So that'll give us a little bit of a durability test as well. But them wound channels, man, that slash has got a huge... And it's got your cut-on contact. So, not to mention your expandable blades for the huge wound.
So far in this test, just going off the ballistics gel test, not too impressed with the SICK.
The Muzzy Trocar looks about the same. It didn't do nothing.
The Muzzy Trocar doesn't look that great. The Blood Runner doesn't look that great either. The M3 looks pretty solid for the fixed blades on here. And then of course the old tried and true style of the...
I mean, you're talking 125 to 125 right here. The 2-blade definitely outdid the 3-blade, and that's the Magnus.
This one's got the best entry wound.
Look at the hole that this toxic actually punched. It actually punched a hole out like a hole puncher would. I'm really impressed with the wound channel. However, the penetration was not what I thought it would be.
Look at that Rocky Mountain. I'm impressed with that mechanical blade. What was it called? Rocky Mountain Assassin?
Assassin Jackknife. That's the Assassin Jackknife.
Rocky Mountain Assassin Jackknife. You know what I mean? These are probably like $30 mechanicals. And the wound channel on that is solid, and the penetration is excellent. The deployment's perfect on it.
That's actually our best penetrating broadhead. Oh, no, behind the Bloodbath.
Behind the Bloodbath.
So that's the second best penetrating arrow that we have, is at Rocky Mountain. And the O-ring stayed on it, Joe.
There you go. Saved an O-ring. All right, so that was our ballistics gel test. Let's move on to the next test.
Hey, Joe. Your ballistics gel worked. Alrighty, so we just got done doing the ballistics gel test. So now we're gonna do a plain penetration test. We got some cardboard here that Joe purchased from the Home Depot, and clean cardboard, never been used. We're gonna put them through it and see how far they penetrate into it, and we're gonna measure to see the penetration depths. So let's go. Let's cut to it, Robin Hood.
All right, in today's video, you'll see that we are shooting PSEs. I got a PSE Carbon Air, 65 pounds, maxed out, with the Spot Hog Fast Eddy sight on it. And
I shoot an Evo NTN 33, a John Dudley special, with a black gold sight. sight on it, and this is 65 pounds as well.
Hooked2Hunt colors.
And custom Hooked2Hunt colors. This was actually, this sling, my Sling-a-Ling, it's a company, it's veterans. It's actually a veteran-made company that produces these slings. It's a magnetic. So, if you're looking for a sling, my Sling-a-Ling.
Yeah, we can attach that in the link below. So we love PSEs. We've been shooting them for a while. John's been shooting for a long time.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yep, they're reliable. And we get our bows hooked up from Bear Creek Archery, Russ.
In Monmouth, Iowa.
He does an excellent job. All right, well, that's what we're shooting. So let's get to it.
All right, first up, penetration test is a sick fixed. He knocked another apple off the tree.
Watch me shoot one out of the air here in a second. Feeling it.
Next up is the Rage Hypodermic. Muzzy Hybrid, the Trocar Hybrid HB. Remember folks, this is just straight penetration.
By the way, if you see me missing the dots, it's because I don't have a 10-foot pin.
We're more than 10 feet. Alrighty, Slash is up next. Toxic is next. Man, that hole is massive. Next is OTW K8.
Little John loves those Toxics.
Assassin's Jackknife that performed really well on the Ballistics gel. Joe, you're getting accuracy, man.
Yeah.
Your accuracy is getting up there.
I'm starting to get that 2-3 inch higher mark down than where the dot's at.
Gotcha. We got the G5 Montec M3. Again, this is 125 grain broadhead. Hey, it's squirrel season. I hear a squirrel. You wanna take them out? I have problems here with squirrels. They're chewing on my vehicles. I don't know if you guys know of any problem on how to take care of that. Let me know. Next, we got the NAP Blood Runner
22 rifle.
12 gauge does it a lot better. Alrighty. Now that was the Blood Runner. This is the Blood Bath. This is our #1 performer in the ballistics gel test. And now the Magnus Stinger Buzz Cut. This is a serrated 2-blade broadhead with the bleeders. Alrighty, let's go check the results. The race! Joe's got a head start. He's going. Come on, Keith. Joe's got the technique down.
2-fingering it.
Oh, come on, Keith's catching up. Oh.
I'm victorious.
And Robin Hood wins again.
The Russian Robin Hood.
There's Keith, our unmarried man, with Robin Hood. We're gonna pull back layers and see where we're at. How many layers is that, Joe, total?
I think it was 19 inches of cardboard. As far as layers, I'm not 100% sure.
A lot. First mark.
Ooh,
Of one coming through.
we got a tip. Alright, so we're getting into our first broadhead here. And good, it's the one I bought. So, oh no, it's not.
Whoa, that was a shocker.
Oh my God. It's your bargain brand. I would not have guessed that. This is one that was given to us trial out from Andrew Lincoln. And that's the breadwinner. It's a fixed blade. And you can get 6 of them for like 25-30 bucks.
What was that price again?
It's like 25-30 bucks. I think you can get 6 broadheads.
We peeled off an inch here and there's still no mark of any other broadhead.
So that was the OTW K8 broadhead. Donated from Andrew Lincoln. Took the breadwinner so far.
We got the second broadhead.
Which
what
is
it?
sick.
Is it?
Yep.
It is. This is the one you wanted to know. So
This one really intrigued me, the 6.
Let's pull another layer off here. Well, now we got 2 others starting to show through.
Okay.
All right, so next up, penetration test, sick.
And then that's the G5 M3 by Montec.
Yeah, you got probably about a couple inches, you know, that K8 has on that sick. So I will tell you though, the cutting diameter on that K8 is much smaller than everything else we're basically shooting today. So that does make sense for that to win the penetration, now that I think of it.
It's cutting less cardboard.
Yep, you have
less drag.
Yep, you have less drag. So the M3, which I thought was actually the K8, which was the breadwinner, but it wasn't. The M3 is probably the 3rd.
Yep, the 3rd. And then we got Bloodbath and Blood Runner.
So
that are right there. Those are our top 2 mechanicals so far.
Yep. So the Bloodbath, it is the Bloodbath, right?
Yep. That's
so the Bloodbath for mechanical is still a huge performer so far, in our test. And the Blood Runner, you know, I mean, didn't perform well in the gelatin, ballistics gel test, but definitely had some decent penetration here. All right, so our fixed blade Magnus would be next. Right in line, pretty much the same penetration depth is Johnny Boy's Little John slash arrow with the mechanical blades that deploy out of the arrow. That penetration is pretty solid as well, so that one performed well for kind of a hybrid type setup. All right, so right now we have every broadhead basically showing,
except for one.
Except for one. You want to guess which one it is? Toxic. So the one that we were talking about with the crazy wound channel, we can't even see it. Everything else is showing on this test so far.
And we have that much cardboard taken off.
So as you can see, we named off the top ones, the top mechanicals already. We're gonna peel this back and figure out where the toxic's at and go from there. So the Rocky Mountain, we aren't quite seeing the blades on that one yet, so we'll hold off on taking the head off on that one, but all the rest of these we're gonna peel back. But the wound channel on
that's a Bloodbath.
The Bloodbath is pretty solid. That's a huge cutting diameter.
Also, this one's up there as well.
Yeah, the hybrid is actually pretty good.
It's a Blood Runner.
Where you push it and it expands.
Blood Runner ain't too
bad.
bad.
Also, I would say the next one as well is Hypodermic is up there as well.
Oh, that's a sick one, man. That's pretty good. Pretty good hole too. That's 6 right up top.
Yeah, the sick ain't too bad. 6 pretty good for a fixed blade.
Yep.
It's at good penetration for the fixed blade. So, and good cutting diameter. Has your bleeders on it. All right, we got the first sign of the toxic.
Just got the point coming through right now. We'll take another layer off and see what kind of damage we got from it. That's one I'm probably expecting to get one of the most damage out of.
So far, everything that we tore off looked like it deployed right. So as far as the mechanicals, it looks like we got the correct deployment on about everything so far. All right, so finally got full visibility of the toxic. The full broadhead only passed through 5 inches of cardboard, which is the worst by far. So that's 2 tests now where it did not perform well in the penetration test, and we haven't even shot it through plywood yet. So we're gonna see how that one goes. So you might create a nice wound channel, but you might be giving up a whole lot of penetration. We're just starting to see the slash arrow with the mechanicals come through. The point had great. The broadhead had great penetration, and the follow-up blades are now starting to come through. So we're gonna pull one more layer back.
You want to take a look at it. One thing to peek at here on this one is some of the holes that we're looking at here. So now you can finally see the whole toxic one as well, and just how much cutting diameter you're really getting on a lot of these other ones. This would be a good one to show it. And then you got your slashes up here, which has got some insane diameter on that.
Look at that wound channel on that toxic though.
But you got
not great penetration,
but you got a hole. It punches holes.
That's a hole puncher.
Okay. So let's look at here. Everything looks like it's deployed right now.
Yeah, everything looks fully deployed
Here.
So within,
Well, right there, if you look there, my blades on that toxic have not deployed yet, but that's right where they started deploying.
Right here. Yeah, they're just starting to deploy here. Yep.
you talking about your blades on your
The expandable.
on your slash?
Yep, they just started deploying.
Yep.
So what do we got in there? 3-4 layers?
Yeah, we got about, I would say, two and a half inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 2.5 inches. The slash hasn't deployed yet. Everything else has been deployed. I would say if you have everything that deploys within the first couple inches, you're probably good. So
Look at this toxic.
all right, John wants to look at the hole in this toxic here.
I'm not trying to be biased, but
So
you cannot,
it definitely carves a
you
big
can't
hole.
unsee that.
You know what I mean? If you're shooting enough poundage and everything else, it might be something to go with, possibly. But yeah, penetration hasn't been good. We're gonna shoot it through plywood. We'll see what it acts like if you hit a rib or something like that, and we'll go from there. But I'd say, yeah, let's move on to the next test.
Besides hunting, we don't just like shooting them and hunting them. We also like to eat them. These are honey barbecue deer sticks. How are they?
Amazing.
These are also a great celebratory tool. As you've seen in my video from last year with that buck.
I make some good deer,
Summer sausage.
some good summer sausage, but you can't beat Edgewood deer sticks. Excellent.
Always a good snack.
All right, next contraption, we're gonna do a bleed out test. But not only are we doing a bleed out test, but we are also doing a durability test. So we're gonna shoot through a 3/8 piece of plywood.
That'll act as a shoulder.
That will act as a shoulder, a bone of some sort, a rib, and it has to make it through the plywood and into the jug, and then we're gonna count down how long it takes to bleed out.
We're gonna see how many seconds till the good stuff runs out. And this tray down here is gonna catch our water. We're gonna use our run-of-the-mill gallon jug filled with water.
Oh! Almost got taken out by an apple.
We're gonna use our run-of-the-mill gallon jug.
So we got our camera on top to capture it crossing through. And that's Johnny Boy's mark right there. Shoot straight, buddy.
Let's do it.
All right, sick. Number 1, fire in the hole.
You're welcome.
1 minute, 4 seconds. Nice solid cut. You could definitely resharpen and reuse that, and honestly you could probably reuse it right now. It's not dull. Yeah, it's still sticky. That's still sharp. All right.
All right.
Next up, Rage Hypodermic
Mechanical.
Broadhead.
Look at the penetration. Wow.
Lost some fletchings on that one.
I lost some fletchings. Yep. That's the second year I've lost fletchings on today.
She's pouring. Yeah. That one is pouring out compared to the last one.
All right. So we go to pull this arrow back, and it actually penetrated all the way through our block here. So
the cut diameter on here, that's actually pretty solid.
Let's look at the other side of that.
that surprised me.
It went all the way.
Went clean through. Fractured.
And durability goes, everything looks intact still.
Blades are still there, and
You know, little nick on one blade, but it's still sharp. So not too bad. Rage Hypodermic. Decent bleed out time and 3 inches pass through the block at the back end. All right, next up, Muzzy Hybrid.
you ready there, time clocker?
Let her fly.
That thing is hard.
All right, the penetration, pretty decent wound channel right there. It deployed instantly. As far as the durability, I'm surprised it held up. These are some thin blades, but yeah, they look pretty solid. You know what I mean? They're still fairly sharp. I don't really see any serious damage to them, so not too bad for the Muzzy hybrid. All right, next up, the one and only Slash arrow, the mechanical arrow. We'll see what this
American
thing
made from Texas.
From Texas. We're on my axis.
Going through the Big D and don't mean Dallas. That one's for you, Bob.
He's a gushing. He's a squirter. You can see that splash mark on the one side.
On the rubber?
That's it.
Call it.
So far, bleed out test takes the cake at 34.99 seconds. So out of the 4 arrows that we shot so far, the Slash arrow so far is winning. All right, so that test was very interesting.
That was a complete.
So John actually hit lower on the jug, which means there's actually even more water that's going to have to come out before it bleeds out all the way. It set the lowest time so far out of 4. The cut diameter on this, as you can see, this is definitely the widest cut diameter so far out of anything we shot yet. One blade still doesn't look like it deployed all the way, but even with the other blade out, it's still, and this is just on contact, right? This isn't.
You want to look at the jug? I can pull the jug.
So, but if you look at this arrow a little closer, that's a pretty wide cut radius here. And then you still have your 3 blades on the front that are smaller. So this is the exit. So both blades were fully deployed on the exit, and this thing just poured out the bottom. I'll say it wasn't a full pass through on the block on the back side, but still the cut diameter that I had on it was excellent. And as far as durability, I even pushed these blades back through a piece of plywood pretty hard, and it's all holding in solid still. The tip all looks square and solid, no damage. So durability test, I would say it's a pass. All right, next up, John's favorite. Well, I don't know if it's John's favorite, but he's definitely interested in it. The Toxic, because it's freakishly looking.
There's nothing else on the market like it.
Nothing on the market like it. This is what we're all waiting for. How will this one go through?
How will it hold up?
God, he's gushy. It is gushy. You got a pass through too. It's blocked.
Yeah, look at the fletchings are gone.
This is gonna take the cake on the bleed out test. 31.62 seconds. We got a new leader. Toxic. Alright, so complete pass through the board, the jug, in the block. And that is the farthest penetration too, right? So far?
For sure.
So the ones that have been failing on the penetration test
Kicked ass in this.
is winning right now in the board bleed out test and going through a block, which is surprising.
Now we're going to see the hole and check the durability for this.
So as far as durability goes, you know what I mean, I'm not really seeing any damage for the most part. She's still sharp.
Hey, Joe.
It's still sticky. And here's your board. I imagine the jug's gonna look similar. So that's interesting. All right, there's your jug. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. All right, next up, OTW K8 Broadheads, fixed blade. It's been leaking all over. 1 minute 15 seconds. That is the worst bleed out so far.
However, it did pass through the block. So
yeah, we got a block pass through. All right, let's look at damage here quick. That's solid. It's intact. Sharpness, it's about the same, I'd say. Damage, none. All right, as far as wound channel, you know what I mean, that's one of the smallest diameter wound broadheads that we have. All right, next up, Assassin jackknife. Let her fly.
penetration is not great right off the bat. That's definitely one reason though that toxic bled out so quick, because it actually passed. The fletchings were into the jug.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe it penetrated the way that it did. We were trying to discuss like if it hit a different part of his target that he shot up already, or if it really did have that much penetration.
That target is not, target's fairly new.
It's just crazy that something that failed on the other penetration test on this one so far is beating everything else out.
You know why? It's because it was shot out of my bow. Alrighty, I got dribbles, call it.
Alright. 1 minute, 9 seconds.
Not our worst.
Not the worst. So the broadhead all looks good. There's no damage at all whatsoever on here. It's still pretty sharp as well.
Is that one open? Did one of them not open?
We got one blade that didn't deploy right off the start.
Did it? Look on the backside, see if it.
No, on the back of the thing.
I'm still not sure. Let's look at the jug here. All right, I got, yeah, so it fully deployed after the board. And there's your cut on the bottom. All right, not a really great bleed out time, surprisingly enough. All right, next up, Montech M3 fixed blade.
And we're dribbling.
45 seconds. Let's look at the damage here. Man, this is, honestly, this is probably the sharpest blade still out of all of them coming out after going through that plywood. That thing's sharp, no damage whatsoever. This is one solid mold broadhead, so you can keep shooting that.
Let's keep on rolling.
Let's keep on rolling, baby. We got a NAP Blood Runner. Hybrid kind of mechanical fixed blade dealio. Let her fly. How you like that explanation?
It works.
Gotta keep it professional.
Always.
Wow, that thing's pouring. I don't know if you...
Wow.
Dude, you had to hit that different. That thing is just... There's no way. You just blew the whole bottom. You had to tear through the bottom on that.
Oh, you did. He did.
You sliced it all the way through the whole entire bottom.
We'll shoot that again.
That was like...
Film that, explain that one though. Like that one is like...
So we had that one here. We hit a little low on it. As you can see there, it sliced the entire bottom of the thing, so it literally took like 5 seconds. We did not have enough time to even pull up the stop cloth and stop it.
Take two.
Yeah.
Take two.
All right, NAP Blood Runner, take 2. Damn, that's quick.
Dribble. Call it.
30.53 seconds.
I think that's a tie, isn't it? Or
That's a new winner.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
30.53 seconds. And penetration,
Not pass through.
no pass through. Let's look at the damage. Oh, it looks intact.
Take it off.
We do have arrow damage though.
Oh, we do. We got the arrow starting to mushroom. There goes one of my arrows. I will tell you the blow through hole
On both of these. This
is
is
the same one. This is the one we put through. The blow through hole is huge. Which you can see with this broadhead, there is just a whole lot of stuff in here that's harder.
takes up space.
That's going to take up space, and that's probably why this doesn't have the greatest pass through. You got all that extra stuff in there. But from a cardboard or from a plywood perspective, you know, it put a pretty big hole in it. And the bleed out, which you saw, put a big hole as far as bleeding out as well. Just brute force, just punching something big through it. That's about all I can say. All right, next up, 3/6 bloodbath.
This has been our #1 performer coming into this.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see this.
Do you want to turn the slow-mo on for this one?
Yeah, let's slow-mo it. Let's slow-mo her. Lots of penetration. You might have to get some.
Arrow is completely buried.
They're not expensive either.
We do have pass through. The black is a little pushed back, a little bit further back. Look at that. A good view of the grain out there.
Dripping?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. Call it.
37 seconds.
Pretty quick.
All right, we got to pass through. This guy has been performing. All right, damage. I'm not seeing any damage at all. Still.
I'll push it through just a hair, John.
Yep.
If you can.
I can't. Push the block back.
That'll work.
All right, let's get this guy off here. Man, I'm impressed with this broadhead. All right, looking at the block, you can see that, of course, you have the cuts from the fixed part of the broadhead, but they wasn't fully deployed on contact, which isn't that big of a deal, right? You just want to deploy once you get into the important stuff inside. The back side, you can tell that already started to deploy and tear everything out.
One thing though, if you look, it's right away. It just grabs. That's the one thing I do like about that. Look, it
grabs instantly. The penetration this thing's been getting with that big of a cut radius has been excellent. Let's look at the jug. Like, we're gonna show this one because this was not one that any of us were expecting.
This is off everyone's radar.
This one's off our radar. We were not expecting the results like this. But there's your cut diameter right there.
Look at the other.
After your
Yeah, it was fully developed.
Your enter wound right there, fully deployed. Your exit, just huge cut diameter. And the penetration that's been getting from mechanical, and it's held up. It's held up through everything so far. So definitely impressed with that one. When I go to buy new broadheads, when I burn through the ones I have already, that might be a budget beater right there. I like my budget beaters. All right, it's time for the last Magnus Stinger buzz cut. It's time.
Are you ready, scorekeeper?
All right, let's do it. All right, 59 seconds. 99 seconds. 59 seconds.
No pass through.
59 seconds, no pass through. Let's check for some damage. Damage control. I'm not expecting any net damage on this fixed blade. These are pretty tough. Yeah, that thing's super sharp. Super sharp still. No damage. Tough broadhead. All right. We just we added a new competitor in here. John has something that he saw that he's thinking about for his new hunting setup. We're gonna fire it and then John can talk about what he's doing here. So, fire in the hole. We'll see if this is gonna be the fastest bleed out of the day.
Just aim at the bottom, right?
Penetration is good on that one too.
We have a pass through.
That shit's pouring. Well, when you said it was probably about 29 seconds. All right, so what we just did there, John is thinking about shooting these toxics along with his slash arrow, and we had the fastest bleed out time, which he was hoping for. Penetration through the block was still excellent. So the first time with the toxic was not a fluke. It's weird that the other two penetration tests with the cardboard and the ballistics gel weren't great, but with the plywood, the jug, and the block, it did well. Damage, it opened up a little bit.
The blades are starting to separate.
Blades are starting to separate. Let's see if I can get it off without cutting myself. They're still sharp, for sure. But if you can see that there, blades are starting to separate a little bit, and they are sharp still.
They're still sticky sharp.
Yeah, I just almost cut myself. So yeah, we have two tests that, you know, I mean, the toxic, for as far as penetration, I didn't know what to think, but you bring it through to this test, and it's been solid. We shot it twice.
Now remember though, too, that was the most accurate being produced. With the grainage too.
Yeah, that's true.
There was the least amount of variance in that broadhead.
That's true. All right. All right, so we're just kind of sitting here thinking and recapping about the broadheads and the tests that we had today. So the most surprising broadhead is
this bloodbath.
The bloodbath
came out of nowhere. I'd never heard of it until today. My buddy said, well, I got some bloodbaths you guys can try. I was like, all right, I'll come over and get them. And that thing performed really, really well.
Yeah, it's not a 2021 model at all, but it outperformed some of the other, almost all the other broadheads. Penetration and everything. It was incredible. Cut diameter. And it's durable and it held up. So
it was pretty close too on the variances. It was 102 and 102.8. So I mean, it was within a 0.8 of each other.
So bloodbath overall, like if I was gonna go buy a broadhead to fire this, to shoot this season,
that you didn't have any. If you didn't have any, or if you were just getting into archery, or
if I just decided to change up from what I already bought, the bloodbath is excellent. So other than that, the slash arrows, what John's shooting, surprisingly, I give him shit for like the mechanical blade coming out, or I did for a while. Up until this last year where we found a deer that I don't know if we would have found.
I don't think we'd have found him
if he wasn't shooting.
I wasn't shooting a slash. It bled to death.
But the penetration on that arrow was pretty good on a lot of the tests as well, in the cutting diameter. So those are two kind of mechanical hybrid. Actually, they're more hybrids because they had kind of a fixed blade and then they had a mechanical side to it.
The only other thing I'd really like to talk about, I mean, that really stood out is that toxic, that wound channel.
Yeah, the toxic wound channel was huge. Just kind of a freakish broadhead.
It's a hole puncher.
It's a hole puncher. So we got mixed results. Two tests. The penetration wasn't great, but the wound channel was excellent on every single one of them. And then that last one,
the bleed out test.
The bleed out test, it plowed through the plywood and it penetrated the block all the way through. One of the farthest.
It ruined my block. Look at my block.
So yeah, if you want to destroy your block, you shoot one of these. So mixed signals there. John John seems pretty interested. He might be shooting these this season. And super sharp still. You know, after everything we put it through, it is really sharp. So, and the weight differential,
there's no variance. They were all, I mean, 100, 100, 100.2.
Yeah, they're all pretty spot on. So that would be your fixed blade. That one's interesting. Mixed results for the toxic. And then
well, then your good old trusty 2 blades. I mean, you can't go wrong with your buzz cuts.
The most disappointing, so actually fixed blades, right? So we got the buzz cut. That one did pretty good. Not bad. Honestly, all the fixed blades did similar. This one was what, the SICK? Or no, this was the M3.
That's your M3.
So the M3, about similar.
Your best value, though, is right here. Thank you, Andrew Lincoln. These are, I mean, value-wise, you said what, you got 6 of these?
6 of these for like 25, 30 bucks or something.
But you bought these M3s, and what'd you pay for them?
Like 45, 50 bucks for 3 K8s. So these are K8s, these ones right here. And so here's a $45, $50 M3.
For 3 of them.
For 3. And these are the K8s for like 30 bucks, I think.
For 6.
For 6. And the performance wise, there wasn't a huge difference. So if you want to shoot a fix, you know what I mean, the penetration, everything you get on that, not too far off. So either way, this is one mold, but they both held up. They're both pretty durable. I do want to say, though, if I'm being honest, the sharpness of the blades, when you're shooting them over and over, the M3s are definitely sharper. So budget blade, and then more expensive blade, I will say this one holds
its edge.
Its edge a little bit better.
I would say, honestly, our biggest disappointment, though, is that Muzzy Trocar HB.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That Muzzy hybrid, where is that at?
That's right here.
So it's a Muzzy hybrid, has your, kind of like almost like your bleeder blades that are fixed on the side.
And when it comes through,
they deploy, and the penetration was awful on it, honestly. And the bleed out wasn't great. It's just overall wasn't. I would
wasn't
say,
what we thought it would be.
Yeah, I shoot Muzzies all the time, but I shoot fixed. And that's what I grew up shooting. But that hybrid wasn't very impressive. So we're gonna post all the listed out results of this test. We learned a lot today. We were surprised. Hopefully you guys felt like this information was helpful. And if you did, please help us out by making sure you hit that thumbs up button. And be sure to check out our other content. We're just starting deer season. That's what we live for, is bow hunting. So
sorry if you can see we're kind of getting swarmed by gnats.
They're getting swarmed by gnats. I got one in my eye. I think that's time to call it. Hooked2Hunt, stay tuned. We're out. Permethrin. Wear your permethrin.